Biden purchases 6 million more barrels for the emergency reserves. I personally don't think it's enough. And MasterCard is selling AI technology to detect scams to the UK banks. China is giving a little bit of its own poison to the US, and the US is not enjoying. So Yellen is going to China to see what can be done about that. UPS just practicing for a just contract, and Crypto.com sends $50,000 to the wrong address and asks courts for help. And Coinbase customers continue to get hacked. And Gemini files lawsuit over Genesis earning program. And Google seems to be very interested in Bitcoin. These are some of the things we're going to be discussing on today's video. Hi, welcome to Crypto Vagabonds YouTube channel. In this channel, we talk about cryptocurrencies, geopolitics, microfinance, and everything else in between that may affect the performance of your favorite crypto asset. If you do like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Let's get into today's video. As usual, we're going to begin with Bloomberg, and Bloomberg seems to be a little bit late. I talked about this on yesterday's video, so today I'm going to show it to you guys here. This is the footage where Zelensky talks about explosives on the power plant in Zaporizhzhia. So let me see if I can play this for you guys.
Про те, що на даху кількох енергоблоків Запорізької атомної станції російські військові розмістили предмети, схожі на вибухівку. Можливо, щоб імітувати удар по станції, можливо, у них якісь інші сценарії, але в будь-якому...
So there you see, I already spoke about this. I just want to show you guys the footage because I spoke about this on yesterday's video. Now let's get to Biden. Biden is purchasing 6 million more barrels of oil for the emergency reserve. I really don't think that's enough. Look at this, guys. It is the lowest that has been in 40 years. It is at 347.151 million barrels. And it was close to 0.7 billion or 700 million barrels at one point, but it is on a very strong decline. You can see here the start of 2022 with approximately 593 million barrels and now 372 barrels and lower. So I'm sorry, Biden, I don't think 6 million really is going to make a dent on this. And he talks about buying more as prices of the market allows. Now, talking about the market, MasterCard is selling its new artificial intelligence. I made a video about this, link above. So MasterCard is selling its new artificial intelligence power tool that helps banks to be more effective to spot their customers if their customers are trying to send funds or send money to fraudsters. So it's a way to spot a scam. Honestly, what I do see is, because I deal with clients, I see this being more a technology that stops clients from having authority over their money, and mostly is regarding cryptocurrencies. Of course, they use the excuse that they are helping clients. My view, my experience is every time a client tries to send money to acquire crypto or to on-ramp, they believe that should be a scam. Yes, there's a lot of scams in crypto, but not all activities on crypto are scams. Now, Yellen is in Beijing and she's criticizing China's treatment of the US companies. And you guys have seen here in the channel, the US is very famous for applying sanctions. And this time is not really sanctions. China is just taking a decision. I'm going to show you guys its recent decision to impose export controls on certain critical minerals. The thing is, the US is heavily dependent on China for a lot of things and some minerals. I'm preparing a video for the channel on solar or ESG energy. ESG energy will make the US and the world more dependent on China. Please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, so whenever that video is ready, you're gonna be receiving a notification. But Yellen is talking about her view, and she's of course reprehending China for what China is doing. So let's watch what's happening here.
During meetings with my counterparts, I'm communicating the concerns that I've heard from the U.S. business community, including China's use of non-market tools like expanded subsidies for its state-owned enterprises and domestic firms, as well as barriers to market access for foreign firms, I've been particularly troubled by punitive actions that have been taken against U.S. firms in recent.
So this is against China taking punitive actions against U.S. firms. Remember, if you following this channel, I have made videos here about how much sanctions and how much punitive actions the U.S. is taking towards China having access to technology. And now China is giving that to a few companies and the U.S. is not really enjoying that. Now, since talking about the U.S., let's talk about what's going on with UPS. The thing is, the UPS may be going on a strike on August 1st. They have a contract that is due by the end of July. And as you can see on the sign here, they're just practicing for a just contract. So the thing is, if this strike does happen, it will affect a lot of other companies because UPS does transportation, for instance, for Amazon. So there's going to be a ripple effect. If the UPS indeed goes on a strike, other companies in the US will be affected and it's going to ripple through the economy. So let's stay tuned and see what happens by the end of July. Now, so far, the crypto market is still holding, Bitcoin is still holding around 30K. And the reason I'm showing now that 30K is still holding is because Google seems to be showing some interest on Bitcoin. So it is a partnership with a company which will enable Bitcoin Lightning. However, you can see on the article here, I have made some highlights. The announcement received significant traction on social media and reflects Google's growing understanding and acceptance of Bitcoin and Lightning. And I like the way they express here Bitcoin and Lightning because Lightning, in my view, is not Bitcoin, but it's another subject. And you can see here, Google Cloud operates under the umbrella of its parent company, Alphabet. The payments platform, Google Pay, boasts hundreds of millions of users in more than 15 countries, which means if there's a partnership between Google and Lightning, it's very likely that those payments are going to be having lower cost. And of course, that lower cost is going to be brought by the partnership with Bitcoin or Lightning. Now, since 2020, the investment arm Google Ventures GV, has shown a robust interest on blockchain and Web3 companies as well as Bitcoin. So Google may be getting interest on BTC. I honestly see that as more positive than ETFs. And since we're talking about ETFs, let's see what JP Morgan has to say about it. JP Morgan is saying that ETFs may not be as good for BTC as everyone is expecting. So you can see here, according to the report seen by Bloomberg, Bitcoin ETFs have overall attracted little investor interest in other jurisdictions in the past 2 years. So Larry Flink suggested that investors could turn to Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and the devaluation of fiat currencies. I do have a problem with this narrative of BTC being a hedge against inflation. A hedge is not an asset. A hedge is a strategy. No asset can be a hedge against anything. I do believe very strongly that BTC is a hedge against government intervention. It is a tool that can be used to increase your sovereignty or financial sovereignty. But the idea that BTC is a hedge against inflation is a very dangerous narrative. Please do not fall for that because it's a very volatile asset and it is not a hedge against inflation. As you may have seen, has been over 60,000 at one point, now has gone last November to 15,000. That is 75% devaluation. So it is not a hedge against inflation. Please be careful when you see that narrative. Now, another thing which is not pretty much in alignment with Bitcoin or the principles of crypto is what's happening with Crypto.com. Crypto.com has sent $50,000 mistakenly to a wrong address. And remember, in the blockchain or in the crypto world, every action is a sovereign action. Now, Crypto.com does not refund their clients when the clients send money or send funds or crypto to the wrong address, but now they're asking the courts to help them because what happened is they sent this 50,000 to somebody else's account, and guess what? The guy saw the 50,000 and he moved the money immediately, and now Crypto.com is trying to use the authorities to ask him to give the money back to Crypto.com. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but that's what's happening. You can see here the July 6th petition say Crypto.com requests the Florida court to confirm the arbitrator's award and enter a final judgment in its favor and against Mike Junkins for the amount owed. So Crypto.com believes that this person owes them that money. Now they made the mistake of sending. So now, since talking about lawsuits and use of court, Coinbase domain name has been reportedly used by scammers in high-profile attacks. So Coinbase doesn't really have, in my view, the best practice, the most ethical practice. And what happened is hackers do notice that, and there's some hackers that do not like that behavior of Coinbase, and what they do is they go and hack Coinbase clients as a way to hurt Coinbase. You can see here, Mason, which wasn't one guy, Mason's experience is one of the many on social media platform reporting security incidents involving the crypto exchange. A brief look Coinbase support page shows users complaining about several types of scams, including phishing on Coinbase wallet and criminals using the company's web address. So Coinbase.com is a URL that they're using to hack Coinbase clients. You can see here, an employee of Coinbase authenticated a hacker as a Coinbase employee who then stole my crypto. You can see here, and the employee I spoke to said the individual. The case is now under litigation among funds frozen and stolen. The victim claims they have lost $50,000 in assets, the same amount that Crypto.com has sent to the wrong address. And here we have it. So, and Genesis is filing a lawsuit against Digital Currency Group, or DCG, and Barry Silbert over Genesis and Earn program. The thing is, you guys have heard about FTX, Genesis, and some other exchanges going bust. And what happened is, because those exchanges in America do interact with one another, it tends to happen that once one exchange goes down, there's some ripple effect or some damage to other exchanges. And Gemini did get affected, and you can see here, according to this Twitter on Cameron Winklevoss, today Gemini filed a lawsuit against DCG and Barry Silbert. Personally, in New York court, Barry was not only the architect and mastermind of the DCG and Genesis fraud against creditors, he was directly and personally involved in perpetrating it. That's what Cameron Winklevoss said, and let's see what happens. The thing is, exchanges are not the best place for you to keep your crypto. The best place for you to keep your crypto is cold storage. Remember, not your keys, not your cheese, or not your keys, not your crypto. And with this, I do wrap up this video. So now my questions are to you. What are your thoughts over this lawsuit? And what are your thoughts over Crypto.com wanting or demanding the courts to help them to get the 50,000 back? Please let me know on the comments below. This is it for now, so please do like, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and see you guys on the next video.